Alrighty, hey there. Today we are editing the senior session that we called in a previous video. So we are in Lightroom right now. I still have some older sessions in here, but we are going to go over to this file. We're going to click import. We're going to bring in the photos that we culled. Remember how we picked our favorites by going through and using PhotoMechanic. So now we are going to go through and bring them in. And Lightroom is freaking out on me. Give me a second. All right, here we go. So we are in my external hard drive. We are going down to their session. We are clicking the to edit. And over on this right side, we are making sure that build one-to-one previews is selected and my preset. Yes, my preset is named Caitlin James. I created it a long time ago after I watched one of her webinars, and I've edited it since then, but that is what it remains to be. So once they're all here, I click this import button, and now all the photos are going to all come in, rushing in. They are going to apply my preset automatically to all the photos, and then they're all going to generate one-to-one previews, and you'll watch them as they start bringing on the unedited preset. So what building one-to-one previews means is that when you click on a photo and then you zoom in, you don't have to wait for the pixels to load. Like, you can just zoom in. So building those previews means that I can just zoom in and it's already loaded. So I do all the loading on the fork. You can see it's already loaded. This won't take very long at all. So go ahead and give it a second. Alrighty, so they are all fully loaded. You can already see that these are going to be too bright. These look about right. These are going to be too bright, but that's just what the preset looked like and because it was really sunny this day. So what I do is I go right to this first photo and we're just going to edit it. So obviously that's going to be too bright. Even that's still too bright. Maybe bringing down the highlight. All right, that is looking much better. Cropping doesn't really need to happen. Then for the next one, going through. So normally what I do is I edit one or two, and then as I go to the next photo, maybe it looks about the same. So I Control-Alt-V, and that is copying the settings from the previous photo. So that worked really well for this one. But then you'll see it actually also copies a crop. So if I Control-Alt-V again, it's going to copy that crop. So I just hit that reset button, and I go ahead and do that. And because I know there really aren't a lot up here, we're just going to keep doing that. All right, but one thing you can do is go back up and you click Develop Settings, Copy Settings, and then these are all the ones that I copy. Click Copy, and then I go down, and all of these have about the same light. So then I Develop Settings, Paste Settings. And what that's going to do is it's going to paste the settings that I put on here, which basically is the color looks good to me. So basically that was just the exposure that was changing. So this looks fine to me. Okay, good. That's already reset. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. This is how I edit pretty quickly. So I look at the color, I look at the exposure. It's not that bad. Sometimes I add other things, but mainly what I do here is I am cropping, because when I apply my preset, and I'll show you guys what my preset looks like. So I shoot auto white balance. Normally my preset, my exposure is up because I like to shoot low. I like to shoot correct exposure, but then I like to brighten it up post. Add a little contrast, bring down the highlights, bring up the shadows, leave the whites alone, and I bring up the blacks. And then I add a little bit of vibrance. And then down here, this is pretty normal, but I bring down the greens and yellows just a tiny little bit. For the color grading, I bring the highlights, I do it to hue 32, and I have the saturation 8. That just makes it a little pinker. I like having that. And then under lens correction, it checks both of these, just makes it a little better. And then that's pretty much it. That's what my preset is. It's really simple, but I absolutely love it. And I'm going through, and these look perfectly edited to me. So just going through one by one, this is pretty much what it goes. It's normally really fast, especially after I've already, already added, edited the first one and then copied and pasted those settings. All right, so now we're on to the next one. So I can already see that this one is just going to be a little bit too bright, bringing that down. Maybe I'll bring the highlights down even more, otherwise that looks good. And then I kind of play around. Does it need to be warmer? I think it does need to be a little warmer, but maybe I'll go down and add a little bit more pink. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. And then sometimes I play with the auto crop. Yeah, see, that went the wrong way. It normally does because these Jamie buildings, but I want to get rid of that beautiful trash can. So they're just going to have an off-centered photo, but that's okay. It might be something cute over here that you can put there. And I'm going to Control Alt V those settings. Didn't really change that much, and that's okay. I think I might brighten that one back up, kind of reset the settings, and that's all right. Control Alt V. I don't think I even really changed anything except the crop, because this looks perfectly fine to me. Alright, I don't think that one needs to be warmed up at all. We're good there. Alright. I seriously love shooting on the JMU campus because it is just absolutely beautiful. This is also why I try to shoot in even lighting. So we are underneath, but we have sunlight coming in through all of these, so it's nice and bright in there still. So this is good reasons to why you should find even lighting, because the editing is so fast and easy. Actually, that looked a little crooked to me. Alright, but these all look fantastic underneath here. Oh, this one looks a little bit darker. So we're going to bring this in, and then we're going to make that a little brighter. There you go, just like that. You also need to be a little brighter. Bringing this up. This is what this is looking like. Oh, never mind, I don't like that. Control Z in that. Perfect. I think these colors look good to me. Exposure now looks good to me. It's pretty much what I look for. I crop, I look at exposure, and I look at color. And sometimes there's like things in the background that I want to get rid of. I'll get rid of those too, but it's not completely necessary. Especially if you like shoot straight on, there's really not a lot. Like, I don't feel the need to edit these any more than I already have. My preset worked really well here. And I'm pretty consistent with what my settings are when I'm shooting, so that makes my editing even easier when I use the same settings, pretty much the same lighting situations, and the same preset. I really have very little to edit, especially for my senior sessions on the JMU quad. So that makes this a lot easier when I have a senior session literally every day, because I can come home and edit these really, really quickly, and we're good. Yeah, so these all look great. I don't think I need to do anything here. Sometimes I'll go in, for example, here I might come up to the adjustment brush, and I already have it on Iris Enhance. This is brushed already in Lightroom, and I just click, and sometimes I really like what that does. I'll show you the before. So before the brush stroke look like this, it just kind of brings up their eyes a little bit. So sometimes I do that if we're up really close. Otherwise, I don't really edit anything on their faces, like if they have like a zit or anything. If it's really bad, sometimes I might edit that out, but if, you know, it's any other natural thing, I don't edit that. It's part of their own personal beauty. I don't edit that out. Alright, so these are pretty good. And I don't go fast because I want to get over with or anything like that. I go fast because, you know, the settings are right. Camera and the settings for editing are right, so I don't need to spend years editing these when they're already 90% of the way or 95% of the way. I don't need to spend the extra 2 hours to get it to 100%, because I know my clients usually can't tell the difference, like if I brighten their eyes or not. Pretty much only I can. So don't feel bad if you edit. If your editing takes a really long time because you're trying to do, you know, perfect edits. They don't need to be perfect. Alright, so now we are in a new location, and because we had to face the sun because we wanted Wilson in the back, which means I gotta bring down that exposure, maybe bring down the highlights a little bit. Let's see, I think it's gonna be too warm. Maybe pinks. Coming down here. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Perfect. Alright. Going to Control Alt V that. Perfect. Alright, so I like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back up here. Develop settings, copy, and then all of the Wilson photos. That's all the way down to here. We're going to go develop settings, paste settings, and now all those settings have just been pasted. So I'm coming in here, I press the R button to go immediately into crop, because the settings don't paste the crops. All right, those colors look good, that light looks good. So right now I'm just cropping and seeing if there's any local adjustments that I need to do, if there's something I need to take out, or I need to, you know, bring up the shadows or bring down the highlight, anything like that. I'm just kind of looking as I go through, and so far we're good, because those first 2 ones I did pretty much got the settings I needed. So going through now. Oh, I don't like how it cut off her foot, but oh well. Going through, now we're in individuals. I always start with group shots and then go to individuals. It's just how I shoot. It makes it easy. So maybe here I might bring up the whole shadows. Yeah, a little bit too much. Sometimes I might even go in and bring, this side up, but I don't feel the need to do that right here. It's not super distracting in my opinion. See, this one is a little more distracting because she's staring right into the camera. So I'm going to the local adjustment, and where are the shadows? There we are. So I might come over here and bring up those shadows, but then I might come over here and bring up those shadows. And then the before and after, that looks a little bit less distracting to me. Because we were so close to her face. Well, when we're zoomed out like this, I don't feel the need to do that. I think it's fine. So we're just going through, and those settings from those first two are good, because normally once I get the settings in the beginning, I don't normally change them when we're in the same location, unless the light drastically changes, like if a cloud comes over. Alright, this one's pretty close up, so I think I want to bring up those shadows again, bring it over her eyes. There we go, that looks a lot better to me. Perfect, pressing that R button to go back. Into crop. So you try to figure out as many short keyboard shortcuts as possible, makes it a lot faster. Oh, I want to go back. I think I want to bring up her shadows here as well. And it really does not have to be that exact. There we go. Awesome. And then going back to crop. Drives me crazy when things are crooked. Perfect. We're a little bit closer up, so I want to bring up these shadows. And you see, guys, these really does not take me that long at all. Just going through making minor adjustments, but most of the editing has already been done, either through the preset or through shooting with the correct settings or through just copying and pasting. Alright, so now we're on to a new location. See, this goes by so fast. Let me check out the dehaze, see what that does. Don't like that right there. Alright, I think that's going to be too orange. Yeah, I don't like that. Maybe add a little pink. Don't love that. Alright, so maybe increase the exposure. This needs a little something. It's too much. Bring up the shadows. That's too much. Alright, maybe I need to bring down the yellow. See, a lot of this is trial and error. No. Maybe I need to bring up the luminance of the orange. Nope, that's not it. Maybe the whites. No, I don't like that. Maybe just need some more exposure. Alright. I'm going to copy and paste those settings, see how I like that. I do like that a lot, so I'm feeling good. And this is the very last of the cherry blossoms. So I love that backlighting, having that light come straight through. And I know there's only a few of these, so I'm not going to back up and copy and paste all the settings. I would much rather just do the Control-Alt-V, because I know there's only a few. So, yeah, I think this one could be even brighter. Bring this one up one more. There we go. Control-Alt-V, Control-Alt-V. Really makes the editing go by really fast. Perfect. This one's gonna be brought down a little bit. This one. Awesome. I don't think it's crooked, but that post is leaning over, so it's driving me crazy. There we go. Let's see if auto will catch the pole right there. Nope, see, that's too much. Auto is really helpful sometimes when you have a lot of lines like this. It kind of panics. It doesn't like it. Alright. So you're looking good. Alright, now we're into a new location. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is go to dehaze. I like that. Maybe bring down the highlights even more. Perfect. And I think the color is completely fine. So we're just going to Control-Alt-V this too. This looks great. Awesome. Their faces are so funny. I love that. Popping champagne. All of those photos are always like this, and they make me laugh. Perfect. Add a little bit more dehaze. Perfect. Alright, so I know there's a bunch of these. So I am going to develop settings, copy settings. We are almost done. We are going to paste settings. Now we're going to come in with the crop tool. Perfect. Gonna bring this into them a little bit more. I love when the champagne just like covers the whole image, and we're gonna leave this one open just in case. I like to give a lot of variety for champagne photos. Some people don't like the funny faces they're making, even though I think they're fantastic. Oh, I love this one. I'm gonna keep this one wide. Champagne is just covering the whole image. Awesome. Now there's misty stuff everywhere because the champagne is still in the water. So maybe I don't like adding a bunch. Oh, I don't think there's any dehaze on these. We're gonna go back real quick. Add some dehaze. I use dehaze a lot when there's too much sunshine coming into the lens. So like here it happens a lot, but then also happens a lot like up in the mountains, especially when there's nothing you can do to block the sun. Alright, cute. So right here I let too much sun come into my lens. So let's see what auto does. It wants to go warmer. I don't think so. That one or two more dehaze, and then this one's good. Alright, this location was a little weird because the background was super lit up, but the foreground was not because we were in complete shadow. So sometimes I like to see what auto white balance does, and I could tell it was already going to get super like that, but that's okay. Just want to see what bringing that up does. Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's completely fine where it is. Oops, went too far. Alright, these ones are good. I think I can rotate this out. They all worked at the same place, so that's how they met. So this is the view they always had. And these are the hats, which is really cute. I think that one's good. And then they toss the hats. These are really cute. And I'm bringing this down, maybe adding a bit of dehaze. I like it. Sweet. Control-Alt-V. Perfect. Awesome. That's it for the colored images. And so, oh, no, it wasn't. My computer was just being slow. It's because I'm recording my screen and it's like, oh, too many things. So that's what happened there. That's okay. That means there's only a few left. So once I go through and finish all of the colored images, I'll show you guys what I do for my black and whites. These are cute. Love getting the detail shot. I bring the exposure up like that. Perfect. Bring this exposure up a little bit. And I might bring up these shadows. Perfect. All right. I think that's good. I think the colors are fine. Sometimes I might do like gradient filters or anything like that, but I don't need to right now. All right, so that's all of them. So now what I do is I have 112 photos. So now I go through and I one-star the ones that I want to turn black and white. So I think I might do that one black and white. Anything that's really emotional or like my favorite photos, I turn those black and white and I one-star them. So maybe this one, or I like that one. That one's a little bit more peeking out. Perfect, that one's cute. And then for groups, I try to do like one far away, one close up for each person. So I like that, and I like that. I like this one, and we're gonna do that one. And I don't really need, let's do that, that's cute. Alright, for these black and whites, we're gonna do this one. We're gonna do that one, and we're gonna do that one. We're going to pick this one. Let's see. Cute. Awesome. All right, so then you go to attribute, click that 1 star, and so now all 17. So select all, and then it's control, and then your like quote, apostrophe, whatever it's called, button, and then it creates virtual copies, and then I 2-star those, and then I go up here, control D to deselect, and then I press the D to go into the edit. And up here, I bought this preset pack from Maddie May. I don't really use it except for this one. So then what I do is I go back to grid by pressing G, right click, develop settings, copy, and then right click, develop settings, paste settings. So now black and white is going to be in here. So then I press D to go back. I can collapse this and this. I don't really use that at all. All right, so here I pretty much just decide whether I want green or not. I don't think I do on this image. Maybe bring the shadows up. That one's good. Get rid of the green for this one. Maybe bring up the shadows here too. That one's fine. I'm gonna get rid of the green here. Some shoots I'm like, yes, green on every photo, but then other shoots like this, sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want green on any of them. But I like keeping it there in the beginning just because I want it, because I like it. Okay, so I just kind of go through. There's only 17 here, so this doesn't take long at all. Pretty much all I do is make it brighter because the preset takes away, bringing up the shadows, and the exposure is like back to normal. So I kind of decide how much brighter I want it to be. Very rarely make it darker. And just knowing this on the forefront, just as soon as I look at a photo, I'm determining whether I want the grain, and then how much brighter I want it to be. So this is all pretty much, I'm thinking faster than I'm clicking around, and I know I click around very fast. I've been told. And so this is kind of why the editing process doesn't take me long at all. It's because I look at an image and I already know exactly what needs to happen. So in this instance, I do need to bring it down a little bit. So I don't like making these black and white. They're very contrasty, but this one's cute. So it comes with time and practice and just knowing your style and what you want your photos to look like. And that's how you get faster. So going through, I know I want to bring the shadows up, and I want to get a little brighter here. I know here I want to get rid of the green, but otherwise I think this one's good. Now here I'm getting rid of the green, might bring up the shadows a little bit. Otherwise that one's good. And then getting rid of the green here. Awesome, that's all of them. So then what I do is I go back to 1 stars, and then I select all of them and I give them a 0 star, so now they're all back to normal. And then what I do is I select all and I rename them. So I have, this is Hunter, Abby, and Hannah's grad session. So now it's all edited and it's renamed to what I want it to be. So that's how I edit my senior sessions. It's pretty straightforward. I already, I get it right in camera, or the settings I normally do. I apply my preset, and then I just go through and make minor adjustments. So I didn't really make any big adjustments here. It would be very different if I was in a different location, but I'll do more videos like that in the future, like when I'm up in the mountains or something, when the light isn't as beautiful and even as it is down here. But that's how I edit really quickly. Like I did this so fast, and I wasn't rushing at all. This is just my process, and I know what I need to do. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped.